Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm here today on the internet because I wanted to discuss feminine energy because it has been bothering me for a while, this whole ideology, and it kind of doesn't make sense to me why smart, young, successful women I see online are, expressing this to me. Like, ever since 2020, this movement, let's say, has been growing. And I really want to dissect it today, in my personal opinion. I, like a normal person, like doom scroll and brain rot, right? And every time I do this on a TikTok video or a YouTube video or a normal, innocent podcast, the words feminine energy come into my ears. And I'm like, not again. And these like smart, young, emphasis on the young women are telling me that to be successful, to be confident as a woman, I should be in my feminine energy. And I just stand here thinking, how did we come to this as a society? Because these people who you would normally see as like progressive young ladies who have their lives together, have businesses, have like podcasts, earn money for themselves by themselves, are telling me a man should be a provider and I should be submissive and stay at home. Or they don't say it specifically like that, but they still tell me like, you will feel the best when you let a man think for you, when you like enter your submissive and feminine energy. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss this because I really do have a problem with it. My main issue with this is that first, I thought we were over gender roles, like literally call me the wokester. But again, ever since 2020, I literally thought we were calling like gender a construct, which it is. Like it is a construct. There's no such thing as like feminine or masculine. There is a thing like traditionally feminine and traditionally masculine, which is like what society has assigned to each gender. For example, men are leaders, women are emotional, they're more submissive, men are dominant, men like rule the family. Like all of this is also intertwined with religion, etc., etc. And a lot of these things are also assigned to women to keep us in a place of less power, while men obviously and luckily get the qualities of like leader, logical, all these things that make you succeed in the society that we live in. It's very coincidental. Obviously, it's not. Like these are all ways that women are subjugated, whether it's like subconsciously or consciously. Maybe in the past, in the very far past, these gender roles worked because women, like there were certain roles attached to a certain sex, like women had the children and they stayed while the man went to hunt, like things like this. But obviously, as we progress as a society, these things don't make sense anymore. Like money is a construct because it makes us work as a society. In a capitalist society, you need money, but it's still a construct. It's like, it's not something real. A piece of paper doesn't have any value. That's what I mean. And, I think in social media, it was very like popular, this sentiment back in the day, back in like 4 years ago or something. But apparently gender roles are cool, and I never understood how they became cool again. Like, I don't understand when we started thinking these things were like chill and normal. And apart from this, like there is scientific evidence pointing to men and women's brain not being so different. Like literally, if you see like these scientific papers, I can link some below. Like you can tell that the research says that the similarities between men and women's brains are way more than the differences. And also one thing about the brain is that the brain is not solid. The brain changes with experiences. So for example, a person who went through trauma as a child will have a different type of brain than a person who didn't. So adding this to my point is that we will never really know right now if men and women are completely different because we don't live in a society without gender roles. So even the differences that we show in our brains and in our like behaviors as men and women is because we have been socialized this way. So like we will only truly know if there are complete like differences if like we lived in a gender role-less society, but we don't. But even with the gender society that we live in and we have been brought up in, the differences between men and women and their brains are really like tiny. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like hormonal differences, whatever, like obviously like that's biological, but I'm more talking about like brain, like how you react to things, blah, blah, blah. So knowing that scientifically it has been proven that men and women are not so different, and like knowing that gender is a construct and gender roles are a construct, and then there's nothing like inherently feminine or inherently masculine. So obviously these things like don't make a lot of sense when you really like logically think about it. So it's weird to me how these educated, smart young women are telling me that I should be in my feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? This is weird to me. And going back to this movement, the other problem that I have is that it's very hypocritical of these people to start telling me I should be my feminine when you're not even in your feminine, bro. You're telling me that you own a business or you run a TikTok that you earn money from. I'm sorry, business and money is not traditionally feminine, not that I know. Leave that to the man. Is it not? So like apart from it being like a resurgence in gender roles, which I obviously don't like. The other thing I don't like is that it's very hypocritical. Like, how are you, a working woman, telling me I should be my feminine? You're not in your feminine. If you really look at the definition of what feminine is, a feminine woman is supposed to be submissive, is supposed to like be emotional, take care of the children, take care of the home, but you're not taking care of the home, bro. I don't know. It's very hypocritical how you are like present yourself as a progressive person, but still like express these traditional ideals that would come of Andrew Tate's mouth. And I don't understand how you can be like progressive and for the girlies and like get your bag, girl, in whatever way possible, I guess. But also you like would attract a man like Andrew Tate and all the men who want to be like him. Like literally women who think like this, that men should be the provider and men should be in the masculine, women should be in the feminine, are saying the same shit. Not the same. Like, of course it's not as horrifying as what these like red pill men are saying, but it's still like kind of the same ideology. Like women should be this, men should be that. So how are you telling me something that Andrew Tate would say and you're telling me I should believe you? Like they're the perfect couple if you really think about it, because they think men and women should be in a certain position. So these are my problems. Okay, with all that being said, I do want to try and guess why some women who otherwise I would agree with would say stuff like this. And I first want to mention that there's a big gap in how women and men have evolved. And obviously men, if you're in a relationship with a man, men don't do any of the housework. And I understand that a lot of women are scared of being unequal in that way. Because if you work and you take care of the child, like of the children, and you have a whole child, you get pregnant, like that's also another like suffering for you as a woman. But you still have to do the same amount of work as the man outside of the home, and even more work inside the home. I understand why some women like do not want to do that, and like their way of escaping from this unfair relationship dynamic is to go back to being like that traditional woman, that submissive woman who like gets provided for and maybe like stays at home, etc., etc. But my point is that a lot of women, rightfully so, are scared of like ending up in that type of relationship. So they want a man they know who can provide, just in case that man will not do anything around the house. You know, and I understand that, but my argument here is like you don't have to date first. You don't have to date. And if you date, you don't have to go with a man who's like a bum. Like you don't have to go with a man who's like doesn't do anything around the house. Like you should have your standards. Like if you yourself, you know that you are hardworking and you still want to have a job, or if you don't want to quit this other side of you, masculine side of you, bullshit, it's just like qualities that you have. If you don't want to quit qualities that you have, you don't have to like be with a man who doesn't do anything other than be like a traditional man. Like you can be with a man who is in touch with his emotions and also like is clean. I know it's hard, like, but also you don't have to date someone. Like, I don't know if that's like too much of an easy way out, but like there are like other ways of doing this instead of like sacrificing your values and like spreading an ideology that Andrew Tate would spread. You know what I'm saying? Sorry to go back to Andrew Tate, but like literally, like these red pill men would spread this ideology. So like you don't have to lower yourself down to that level in order to escape this life that you so fear. Unless you're already in that situation. If you're already in that situation, like that's another conversation. But if you're not, you don't have a child, your boyfriend's just a normal dude in his 20s, like, I don't know. It's a bit weird to me. No, it's a bit weird, but in this way, I understand. Like, I understand why women would resort to this type of ideology. Like, men have to do this, men have to do that, because you don't want to suffer and like work outside of the home and work inside the home and do everything and be overwhelmed and stressed. While your man is just like, yeah, I work my 9 to 5 and then go home and have a beer while you're cleaning your baby's diapers. I understand. So that's one. I also understand why people would want to like join the movement in more of a reconnecting with your childhood self way, because as you know, we live in a patriarchal society and everything that is like girl like or woman like is looked down upon because everything that men do is great and everything that women do sucks. So for example, like maybe wearing the color pink was looked down upon when you were a child and you didn't like it and you rejected it because that's what society told you was like stupid, and you're a girl and that's so dumb. So now you want to reclaim this, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to start dressing like in pink and you want to like start doing your makeup or whatever. Like all these things are fair, but I feel like you can do all these things without reinforcing gender roles. Like you can wear pink, you know, you can like One Direction, Justin Bieber, you know, enjoy your things. Enjoy the things that are marketed to women that you never felt like you could enjoy. But at the same time, don't tell me just because you like pink now that you're submissive and that you turn your brain off when your man is around. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, you can enjoy things that are seen as girly without falling back into gender roles. Because we're always going to end up losing in that way. Because gender roles are a lie, they're a construct, and they so happen to still put women in a less powerful position because men will always end up being the ones who are in charge. So, this is my like empathetic point of view. Like I understand it from this side of what I just explained. However, my conclusion is how I just said. I think if you want to be more feminine in a way where you reclaim things that have been denied to you by society, in this way, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand if you want to like do traditionally girly things that you thought you couldn't do or that were like stupid because society told you they were stupid. Like this, I understand. But at the same time, as we do these things, I think language is really important as well. Like when I say traditionally feminine, you can understand that's like something that society has deemed as feminine in a traditional manner. Does that make any sense? But when you say feminine, you're kind of saying that is inherent to women when it truly isn't. Like a man can also wear pink. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good for him. I don't give a fuck. Like he can do whatever he wants, but like just because he wears pink doesn't mean that he's feminine. Like we should stop like gendering things. Like pink is not feminine, football is not like masculine. Like anyone can do whatever they want without it having like a title of what gender it belongs to. And what else? Like, yeah, I just think like it's all fine and dandy if you're like doing it for fun. Like that's fine by me. But as soon as you start like inserting gender roles in your discourse, that's where I like lose you a little bit and I ask you to reflect on what you're saying because it might be a little hurtful for society as a whole. Thank you.